We got breaking news in the NBA where Boston's coach Ime Udoka is facing a potential one-year suspension from the club. That's according to ESPN. Per multiple reports, the 45-year-old Udoka was involved in a consensual relationship with a female staff member. Udoka currently entering his second season there at the helm for the Celtics. Last year, he led the team to the Eastern Conference title before falling to the Golden State Warriors in the NBA Finals. With him gone, assistant head coach there, Joe Mazzulla, reporting to take over while he is suspended from the team. For more on this news, I want to bring in our NBA analyst, Avery Johnson. And Coach, you hear this news coming out today. Your reaction of Udoka not being on the bench this season, possibly?
Yeah, this is shocking news. Obviously, this has to be some serious inappropriate behavior. And we all know from an HR standpoint, when you sign on to be a coach of a team, there's certain parameters of lines that you just can't cross. So unfortunately, obviously those lines were crossed, and there's a looming possible one-year suspension, which I think is going to have a significant impact on this team. You're not talking about a team that's a veteran-laden team. Jason Tatum, Brown, they're all still relatively young players. And they need the type of guidance and leadership that Ime Udoka supplied last year. And that's why he changed the culture, made them a better defensive team, which led to an NBA Finals berth where, they didn't necessarily play their best basketball, but Golden State had something to do with that. But I think they're going to sorely miss his leadership, his discipline, the way he changed the culture. Brad Stevens took it as far as he could take it. He got booted upstairs. In comes Udoka, and I thought he did a phenomenal job. So I think this is going to have a significant impact with them on the court next year. Obviously, he can't play. He doesn't shoot, pass, dribble, or play defense, but his leadership is going to be definitely missed.
Well, let's talk about that. Getting on the court there, you mentioned, of course, the young pieces they have, because I remember at one point last year, they were a 500 team. They flipped the switch around that all-star break, won 51 games, and then the NBA Finals, of course, falling to the Warriors. How does those young pieces maybe take a step back now, not having your leader there in Udoka?
Well, fortunately for them, somebody like Marcus Smart is going to be vital in terms of, his leadership. And they already know the system. The system is in place, but holding them accountable, that accountability. What about when things are going bad and we have a 2 or 3 game losing streak? Who knows if you're at 500 before All-Star break? We don't know if you're going to be able to flip that switch if you're in a similar situation without Udoka on the sideline. So look for them to maybe bring in another veteran assistant, a former head coach to join them on the bench to try to bridge the gap a little bit. But at this stage, the relationship and the trust that he's built and the equity that he's built with his young team, that's really irreplaceable. So we'll see what type of effect that's going to have on them, especially on the defensive end.
When it comes to them in the Eastern Conference, one of the favorites, of course, heading into the season just a few months away. Where do they stand now with the other teams? Of course, Milwaukee is there. Brooklyn, where do you peg them out in the lineup here when it comes to the top teams of the Eastern Conference?
Well, they definitely would take a step or two back. If they were projected to win the Eastern Conference, then they probably will go from that to the 4th spot right now. I still would have a team like the Bucks ahead of them. I think this catapults the Heat back up there. This gives the 76ers some more life, and the Brooklyn Nets, who's the biggest question mark in the Eastern Conference. But right now, without Udoka, I would have the Bucks as the favorite in the Eastern Conference as of today.
You see there, of course, the favorites to get back to the finals there, plus 550. Of course, the defending champs right behind them in the Warriors here. Avery Johnson, appreciate you breaking in with this news here when it comes to Ime Udoka possibly facing a one-year suspension there with the Celtics. Again, those odds there might be changing a little bit now with this news this morning. Plus 550, the Warriors right behind them at 6-1. The Bucks, don't forget, they're also in the Eastern Conference with the Nets. Things may change the closer we get. By the way, they open their season in October against the Sixers.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.